Welcome to today's webinar presented by Supercoder.com. Supercoder.com is an online coding solution offering Part A and B coding reference tools, resources, and not more than 30 specialty coding and compliance newsletters from the Coding Institute in one site. I hope you enjoy this short session.
At least it's out. But anyway, we're going to be talking about those things today. Our objectives, if we look at slide 2, our objectives are going to be to learn about what the Office for Civil Rights at Health and Human Services will be doing as far as these HIPAA audits are concerned. The Office for Civil Rights is the Office for Civil Rights within Health and Human Services, and traditionally they've been involved with making sure people have equal access to health information. But since HIPAA came along, they've been involved with making sure people's rights are being taken care of as far as HIPAA is concerned. And so making sure that entities do the right things for HIPAA compliance is part of ensuring that people's rights are being properly watched for. So that's why it falls under civil rights, at least as far as privacy and security is concerned. So we'll find out what they're going to be doing for these audits and what their plan is and what you can do to be prepared for an audit. And it's actually a pretty simple thing to say, not so easy to do, the way so much is in life today. But anyway, we can talk about how you can get prepared and talk about what kind of policies and procedures and documentation you need to have in place, because that's really what it boils down to, is having the right kind of stuff that people are doing and that people know what to do and are trained on, and that you have documentation to show that you understand and people are using, and that you have a way to show that, yes, you really are doing the right things. So many organizations are doing the right things, but if they don't have the right processes in place, it's really hard to show that they're doing the right things. And if you get audited, you have to be able to show that you're doing the right things. And we'll talk about if things go wrong, there's a chance that you might wind up with some penalties, and so we'll talk about how those have changed and expanded. Especially when we talk about the significant penalties that are in place for a new category of violation that they call a willful neglect violation, and we'll talk about how you qualify for that doozy. Now, I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal advice. I'm not somebody who can you can call and I'll argue a case for you or anything like that. I am somebody who's been doing this stuff for pushing a dozen years now, I guess, before long, and it's something that I have quite a bit of expertise and experience in. So I just like to make sure that it's possible for others to be able to understand these things as well as I do. So I try to impart some of that to you. My own background, on slide 3, my own background is civil engineering and transportation, which probably doesn't necessarily qualify me for healthcare at all, but so it's an engineering background, which is what I bring to understanding the regulations and understanding how to be in compliance with them. And when it comes to security stuff that you're going to be audited on, and you need to make sure that you have an organized approach to this, because there's a lot of details. There's a lot of details. So you need to make sure that you take a kind of an organized process approach to this kind of stuff. Otherwise, you can just get overwhelmed. So it works well with my own background. The big thing on this slide here is lewiscreeksystems.com. Link at the bottom of the slide there, because that's where you can go to get various resources and latest news and tips and things like that. All the links to all the stuff that I'm going to be talking about today that is not in the presentation because it's so new. I have those links up there on the lewiscreeksystems.com website already, as far as details on the Alaska HIPAA settlement, and also details on the new HIPAA audit protocol that has just been published. So that is now available, and you can have links to that on the Lewis Creek Systems site. So check them on a regular basis, because there's always new things coming along. Whenever I have something that I find would be useful for me to have access to in the work that I do, which is basically HIPAA stuff, I put what I need to have available out there on my website so that I can find it. And that also means that if my office has a disaster or somebody steals my computers or something like that, then I also have access to those things there, and so do you, because they're freely available, and I don't put any limitations on it. There's no registration required, and there's no I don't put cookies on your computer. There's nothing like that going on. You don't need your email address. You just go there, and if you can benefit from the resources that I have there and from the things I link to, then that's the best I can hope for. If I can make your life a little easier with HIPAA. So on slide 4 here, what is all this enforcement activity? Where is this coming from? What's the deal here? Is this all new stuff? I mean, who's doing all this, and what are the regulations that we're dealing with here? So where's all this coming from? Because this is certainly a topic of interest these days because of the audits that are taking place and the program that is now underway. So where's this coming from? So on slide 5, we can think about the fact that since the HIPAA rules originally came out, there have been a lot of changes. And a lot of things have happened or haven't happened since HIPAA came out back in 2003 for the privacy rule, and 2000.
Supercoder is the fastest growing online reference tool with more than 25,000 subscribers. Call 866-228-9252 to get a free product demo or sign up at supercoder.com for a 7-day free trial.